Using Advertise.ai Storyboard, you can achieve the same outcomes as a traditional workflow without the complexity. The difference is simple. A storyboard runs in a clear, linear sequence, so it's easier to follow, easier to iterate on, and easier to scale creatively. I built a system where you can create your own storyboard and power it with plugins from many providers, like Fal.ai, Replicate, Hugging Face Spaces, and Gradio apps. Let me show you a quick example. In this first workflow, we load a video of a Japanese woman wearing a kimono. We analyze the video and detect the different scenes. Next, we add a reference character so we can keep identity consistent across edits. I already have a character prepared, so I search for it using a ref prefix, select the reference image, and add it to my references list. Now we combine that reference with an image edit step. Because we have both a reference image and a text description, we can guide the model to generate a character that matches the description while staying faithful to the reference identity. It's the blend of who this is and what the scene should look like. We generate, and you can see the character come together. One of the most important ideas here is freedom of choice. You can mix and match tasks however you want, and you can choose which model runs each step. Another feature I'm excited about is Boolean logic formula inside the storyboard. If you've ever used spreadsheets, you already get it. Each row is an execution, and you can add formulas to drive decisions. For most actions, you can set simple conditions. Run this only if something is true. Skip it if it's not. For example, check whether a file is an image, a video, or text. Based on that, decide whether a step should run, whether an input is required, or which plugin should be used. It's like Excel logic for media creation. And because the storyboard can work with any API or third-party service, your workflow doesn't stop at generation. You can finish by uploading to Dropbox, sending a notification email, or pushing assets into the rest of your pipeline. You can stay with one model across the whole storyboard, or switch models step by step. Maybe you start your image with Gemini, then swap to OpenAI Image Generator, or use a different model entirely depending on the style you're going for. Nobody should be tied to a single model. You use what's best for the result you're trying to achieve. In this example, I'm using Gemini 3 Pro Image for the image, and for video, I'll use Minimax. In the second example, I want to show a different workflow. I'm still using the same reference approach, but this time I generate the initial image with Seedream Image Edit, then create the first video with Veo 3.1, and extend it using Veo 3.1 Extend. That compatibility detail matters. Extension models often expect a specific type of input video, so choosing Veo 3.1 for the initial generation makes the extension step seamless. And again, notice the flexibility. For the initial image, I'm not using Gemini or Nano Banana. I'm using Seedream. Same goal, different models, based on performance and creative intent. Once the video is generated, we can add a guardrail. OpenAI Eval can review whether the video matches both the description and the reference image. If it doesn't, we automatically generate a new row and try again. That turns evaluation into a built-in quality check, so the system can validate itself instead of relying only on manual review. Here's a real-world moment that shows why the plugin manager matters. Let's say I don't have the extension model installed yet. I know Veo has an extend capability, but it isn't included by default in my setup. I need it right now for this workflow. So I open the plugin manager, search on Fal.ai or Replicate, look for Extend, and install the plugin. I rename it so it's easy to recognize, confirm what it does, extend Veo videos up to 30 seconds, and I'm done. Now I close the plugin manager and return to my storyboard. The new plugin is already available in my actions list. I click it, and it drops directly into the storyboard with parameters ready to configure. Extension workflows are where creative control really shows up. You start with an initial video, then extend it with a new direction. For example, I'm riding a bike in the sun, and then the extension becomes, and suddenly it starts snowing. Veo Extend uses the original clip as context and continues it based on your new description. And to make the extension even smarter, I can use formulas and references to pull the next scene description automatically. If the next scene is, she turns her head, I can reference that in the storyboard so the extension aligns with the upcoming moment, keeping the story consistent scene by scene. That's the core of what I'm building, a storyboard that stays simple and readable, a plugin ecosystem that lets you use any model from anywhere, and built-in logic and evaluation so creators can iterate faster, with control, consistency, and freedom.